Hello and welcome everyone to the annual X Games. My ex used to play games. Haha, that horrible little... God, I swear, sorry, I'm over it. I just wanna... Our next event is the BMX Championships and Esteval da Silva is next up for Brazil. Let's see what he can do.
No jogo contra o Cuiabá, então é dúvida para esta partida diante do Cruzeiro. Zé Ricardo vai ter mais...
Ooh, a shocking ride from Esteval. He is unfortunately out. You know who else used to ride? My ex. God, I miss her so much, man. I swear she needs like a G. Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what has been kicking off in the world this week? Well, one story has taken over the UK this weekend.
And it's her dad.
In what can only be described as the most catastrophic plot twist since Ronaldo read his United script, I'm gonna have an interview with who? A woman who visited a glory hole on a hen do, looked up after the fact and realised that it was her own father. Honestly, I didn't even know that Neymar had taken a trip to Amsterdam in his time off. The dad was somewhat traumatised seeing who was on the other side of the glass, and Christmas dinner is gonna be awkward this year. So, darling, do you want some stuffing with that? Or it's not the first time you've offered her a stuffing, eh, Michael? This is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I hate it so much. I cannot express how much I would end my own shit if this happened. Forget the red light district. I'm driving through a red light into oncoming traffic. From glory holes to glory goals, though, now. And we witnessed some of the greatest hero arcs the season's seen.
Maguire! What a moment for Harry Maguire in the Champions League!
Manchester United made a hash of beating Copenhagen in the Champions League, but did so through a Harry Maguire header and Andre Onana 97th minute penalty save. Maguire has done the business here. United fans are gonna feel like they've woken up from a fever dream. Hey, yo, what the fuck was that? There were multiple Copenhagen chances, but the first half was pretty dead. So much so the referee blew for half-time early. He had seen enough. But Harry Maguire got the vital goal here. I feel sorry for the ball, man. Being headed by Maguire is like running into the side of a building. He posted his own "head is massive" chant on Instagram, but then in true United fashion, they gave away a late penalty. And it was Henrik Larsson's son versus Andre Onana, with Alejandro Garnacho fucking up the penalty spot. Onana, though, would get his redemption. Andre and Harry were left confused to their situation in the canteen afterwards.
Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
All the players that have struggled have bailed out United here, returning like a Love Island recoupling. Is it because my head's too big? You can answer honestly. Maguire and Onana doing the business. Jadon Sancho's waiting for a call at this point.
I call you Baldy.
Apparently, Jadon has been banned from the club canteen. He has to Uber Eats his own club's food. Do you understand how mad that is? Erik ten Hag's gonna take it personally when he sees Jadon chatting to the dinner lady on site.
Listen, mate, this is not about you, alright? Can you get that into your stupid head?
Meanwhile, Andre Onana has truly saved himself here. He was one game away from United pretending David De Gea stayed. He went for dinner with some of his former teammates. Tom Heaton was struggling to convince the rest of the attendees that he should be starting.
Hang on, let me finish.
David De Gea posted a cryptic emoji tweet himself, and he'll be back to letting 14-mile-per-hour P-rollers whilst Andre Onana's at AFCON. It was a big week in Manchester and in London too, as Arsenal faced off v Chelsea in the Premier League. The Blues were 2-0 up till a late collapse to draw with the Gunners. Cole Palmer gave Chelsea the lead from the penalty spot, but Raheem wanted it.
Real bad man, no muggle in a shot. Straight jeans.
Sterling was beefing with Palmer, it's fair to say. Reece James was probably injured in the scuffle, so at least Cole will be trying to make it up to Sterling by speaking to his heritage after the game.
Big bomber class before busting on me head. A sexy gal say she want to give me head.
And Chelsea would make it 2-0 thanks to a Mykhailo Mudryk cross-come shot. Pause. Arsenal fans were delighted watching Mudryk score till they realised he actually signed for Chelsea. David Raya was caught out here. I don't know how to explain it, but he seems like a man with a low credit score. Meanwhile, Aaron Ramsdale's outside David Raya's house wanting confrontation as we speak.
Relax, dog. A dogfight out there.
Mykhailo Mudryk's doing a goal of the month competition on his own here, though was devastated seeing the rest of the side ruin it late on. AFTV's Ty was making complaints, but Mikel Arteta didn't care for the quotes.
I don't wait for Clocken to tell me what to do. Whatever his name is, Clockens, whatever his name is.
And one other prominent Arsenal fan was once again in the crowd. But Arsenal would secure a late comeback though. Robert Sanchez saw David Raya's goalkeeping and decided to keep Spanish shot stopping at an all-time low. Then Leandro Trossard came off the bench to score the equaliser. With the bags under his eyes, just imagine what he could do with a full night's sleep. At Newcastle, and Sandro Tonali has been slapped with a 10-month footballing ban for his role in the Italian betting scandal. He was pushed forwards after their victory this weekend in the league to take applause from the fans. He's not leaving, lads. He's just gone William Hill a bit too often. If I was a betting man, and I know Tonali is, Milan knew that he was going to get scoped with this when they sold him. Here we have AC officials escorting him out of the premises after he spent £47 million of their budget on an Italian 4th Division acca. Meanwhile, Eddie Howe was impressed, realising he'd betted on himself to be banned.
I thought, you fucker. But you clever fucker.
The poor guy is gambling on everything at this point. Right, I reckon that car in front, 4-1 to turn at this junction. Bro, you're driving. I don't think you should be writing down odds at this point. What, do you reckon the next car's a Toyota? Slap a tenner down on it. I'd bet my house, yeah. You already have, bro. But Newcastle were in action on the pitch against Dortmund in the Champions League, and this game was heritage.
That was crazy. I've never actually experienced that sort of atmosphere at a game before.
It ended only 1-0 to the German side, but one of the most entertaining 1-0s you'll ever see between two likeable squads. Now, they've taken a gamble on squad selection here, and that was just Sandro Tonali an hour before kickoff. Fucking, I knew Longstaff was gonna start. Sandro was ecstatic collecting his winnings for a Dortmund victory before realising the side that he's actually employed for had lost. Meanwhile, if you're a Dortmund player, look, listen, great win. You could be earning a lot more at St. James's Park. Don't be surprised to see Marcel Sabitzer come out with a statement to try and get the Geordies to sign him.
I've been a fan of this great club all my life, and this is why I love Newcastle United.
Elsewhere in Newcastle's group, and PSG swept aside AC Milan. Kylian Mbappe loved the Italian side as a kid, and I was half expecting him to get an own goal to force a move through to Real Madrid again, getting a lookalike to start in his place. But in the end, he starred in this 3-0 victory, leaving Milan with less goals in the Champions League than Harry Maguire. Meanwhile, Aston Villa boss Unai Emery was delighted seeing Zaire Emery perform so well in this match.
Delivered that baby. Look, that's my son.
He's 17 years old and controlling a midfield, slapping up a Champions League side compared to me at the age of 17.
Hey there guys, this is Niran here.
Now, Manchester City faced off against Swiss side Young Boys in their Champions League tie, and it saw Jack Grealish combined with Wankdorf. Nothing too new there. Now, before this game, Manchester City players could be seen exiting their team bus in some very questionable gear. I tell you what, lads, that is charge number 116.
This shit, isn't it?
You look adorable.
Don't be surprised to see Mateo Kovacic refusing to wear it and enter the field of play looking very different indeed. Erling Haaland looks like a private school bully here. Imagine Pep Guardiola seeing these in his basket at Zara. Meanwhile, there was very different fashion at full time, with Erling Haaland looking like he's about to win the women's Ballon d'Or as well. Manchester City and getting an easy group. Name a better combination. Every year they're playing Mahatma Davidov, Katalinovic. To be fair though, not totally easy here, as Young Boys did equalise with a beautiful chip. But what a genius Pep actually is, fighting fire with fire by playing Rico Lewis, a young boy. Arsenal versus Sevilla ended in a victory for the Gunners. Sevilla are a very different prospect in the Champions League versus in the Europa League. Gabriel Jesus was the star of the show here with a beautiful assist in the first half. Jesus splitting the defense here like Moses. That is fucking unbelievable from Jesus. Mate, I fucking love bread and fish as well. That's quality. But unfortunately, despite that great performance, he is now out injured and was looking very different after the match. Bayern Munich beat Galatasaray pretty comfortably, with Harry Kane grabbing another goal here. He's really hit the ground running. One Turkish fan inside the stadium was not quite like the others, and despite a Mauro Icardi Panenka penalty, Galatasaray were left battered and bruised after this one. Braga faced off against Real Madrid in their extremely unique stadium. No ticket for this match, absolutely no problem whatsoever. Celtic claimed a hard-fought draw versus Atletico Madrid, but Diego Simeone didn't want to speak to Brendan Rodgers at full time. He's treated him like an assistant ball boy here, absolutely no eye contact. Napoli's Di Lorenzo and Galini decided to reenact the Zinedine Zidane headbutt this week. Meanwhile, German side Union Berlin are on a shocking run of form, and their ultras physically spoke to the rest of the team to try and convince them to at least enjoy their Champions League journey, given it is new territory for the club. Now, back to the Premier League, and we of course saw the Merseyside derby this week, and it ended in a 2-0 victory for Liverpool, but it could have been a different story. Everton had Ashley Young sent off, a penalty given against them, and Konate escaped to red for the Reds. Everton, you might as well ask for a replay at this point, because the referee was pretty much getting involved for Liverpool in the dying stages. To be fair, that Ashley Young red was nailed on truly. Ashley was struggling trying to keep up with Luis Diaz down the wing. Meanwhile, Michael Keane was trying to convince the referee of where it actually struck him for the pen, his arm. There's further bad news though for Toffee supporters, as Everton could be facing a points deduction after breaking FFP rules. You break financial fair play and you're still starting Ashley Young. They're just giving everyone else a head start to still finish first in League One. Beto's going to be walking back into his local KFC before you know it. Manchester City must just outright have better lawyers. Honestly, if Everton are getting 12 points for one breach, Man City are going to be in the Sunday League West 4th division. If you scale that up, it's a 1,380 point deduction for City. They're going to be playing the Irish 2nd division. Elsewhere in the Prem, and Tottenham are actually good.
I beg your pardon?
Harry Kane must be fuming seeing this with Bayern in 3rd. One Twitter account has been calling Spurs' Italian goalkeeper Vicario the Tottenham one. They clap back with this caption for an interview post-match, and truly, this sun-cubed combination is going crazy. John McGinn was bringing out the patois on Leon Bailey's Insta and was keen to congratulate the winger in person too.
Big up the whole island, massive, it's your boy Chatana.
Meanwhile, Man City beat Brighton this week. Jeremy Doku had James Milner doing yoga halfway through. Meanwhile, one Twitter account predicted Ansu Fati scoring in the exact minute that he did.
How'd you fluke that one?
And over on CBS, and it's devastating times for Thierry Henry, as Kate Abdo announced she's getting engaged.
Guess what, everybody? We have a big announcement coming up in our post-game. Make sure you stay with us for that. You lot don't know what it is, do you?
No, what is it?
No. Well, it's a big announcement. That's all I can tell you. It's going to come up. It's going to be up.
Oh, you're getting engaged?
Let you know later. Yes, I'm getting engaged.
Oh, you're getting engaged?
Yeah. He doesn't know yet, but yes.
The cameraman knew what he was doing here, by the way. Zooming in on Thierry. That hurt him more than the 2006 Champions League final.
You look emotional, mate.
Rest in peace, a truly blossoming romance. Kate's DMs from Thierry are gonna be somewhat questionable given the news.
Hi, hello. I don't know why I feel like this. I was just scrolling through Insta and I saw you by yourself and I thought, something's missing. Then I looked in the mirror.
Her work husband here has discovered that she's got an actual husband and he's almost thrown up live on set. To be fair though, Kate, you never said who you're getting married to. And this whole situation spilled over into the next day's CBS viewing as well.
Fantastic.
So good.
What Thierry wants, Thierry gets. Back to you.
That's it. What else does Thierry want? What else can we get in this studio? Poise, precision, power.
Breaking, Kate Abdo is no longer engaged. Meanwhile, Micah Richards isn't getting himself involved in all of that shit and is instead trying to bring out the Kylian Mbappe celebration. Though it came with some pretty disastrous consequences.
Are your trousers all right? Still intact?
Elsewhere in England, and there's the revelation that Wayne Rooney was so invested in his wife's lawsuit against Jamie Vardy's wife that he wanted to actually go and study law. Could you imagine this guy as your defense lawyer? All right, listen, your judginess. That's a longer word than honor. Why would you say that? I've looked through all the notes of this case and I can confirm that it's AA, not 9-volt. Wayne, he's been charged with battery. What do you think that means? He has rechargeable batteries. Yep, he's fucking guilty. Meanwhile, things are gonna spill out onto Twitter when he finds out who the next culprit of the crime is in his family. Over at Arsenal now, and for Ben White, I know your name's White, but the hair doesn't have to be white as well. He doesn't watch football, and now his own family members aren't going to either. They don't want to associate with that trim. William Saliba was pictured on Instagram this week wearing a shirt that said Spurs on it. Probably not the greatest idea. Diogo Dalot was keeping United fans entertained, testing their aerial ability whilst warming up by the sidelines. Meanwhile, one fake news account on Twitter tried to trick viewers into thinking that Newcastle midfielder Sean Longstaff had asked for a month's sabbatical leave to go travelling with his brother, to which Sean addressed the rumours in the next press conference.
The rest of the rumours doing the rounds on social media about you going travelling.
I know the gaffer wouldn't give us a month off, so I was a bit gutted, like.
One man has embarked on a weight loss journey that's seen him lose 9 stone in weight since Bournemouth last won a football match. Meanwhile, down at Charlton, and 20-year-old Tyrese Tupac Shakur Campbell grabbed his first league goal. Tyrese who?
Someone said you was dead.
Jada Pinkett Smith will be running from the crowd with immediate effect. Meanwhile, Will Smith will be interrupting the post-match interview. Oh, wow. Now, over in Spain, and Real Madrid v Sevilla was a fiery affair, with Sergio Ramos and Antonio Rudiger getting into a scrap. Real Madrid fans were tweeting in their droves, by the way, saying they didn't expect this sort of behaviour from Sergio Ramos. You've watched this man commit war crimes his entire career, but now you don't expect this sort of behaviour. Aurelien Tchouameni wasn't letting this drama get the better of him. Meanwhile, Jude Bellingham was in the background, not providing much in the way of support. Yeah, guys, just let me know if you need me. I'm just scoring, attacking in the background over here. Don't worry. Even he, though, was getting aggressive in this one with a shocker of a challenge. Just so mature, honestly, to have his studs up like that. Meanwhile, in a more serious turn of events, Vinicius Jr. was once again the target of racismo coming from Sevilla fans. It's like the 10th time this has happened now in his time in La Liga, and honestly, there has to be something more done in this league at this point. I know racism is happening at all clubs and most leagues across the world, but high-profile events like this are happening like every 4 months now, specifically to Vinny Jr. Either he needs to be protected more, or La Liga as a whole need to do more to end this. Over at Barcelona, and it was a dream start for Maguire, I think I'm pronouncing that right, a 17-year-old who with his second touch of professional football scored to gift his side a win over Athletic Club. His mum was practically in tears watching on from the crowd. One man on Twitter predicted this guy, by the way, graduating from La Masia back in 2015. I mean, that is absolutely mad. Crazy talent ID, but it does mean this guy was watching 9-year-olds play football. And I don't know about that one, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He has some serious explaining to do.
Well, you know, I don't know what. It's just whatever.
Where has he seen Guayu, by the way, in 2015? In the ball pit. Barca tweeted that he's got school tomorrow. He's gonna become the first year 8 to have a €1 billion release clause. And Fermin Lopez has been doing the business for Barcelona too, this time in the Champions League. They're spawning white dons with short dark hair and a skin fade on a regular basis. Any crisis they're ever in, just get a random don called Javier from a sweet shop in the local area. And speaking of Barcelona, given their partnership with Spotify, they're gonna have the Rolling Stones as a sponsor for El Clasico this season. Very, very wavy. The logo looks sick. The TikToks they made in partnership, not quite as good. The Lewandowski effect on this club is genuinely awful. Staying in Spain, and Gerard Piqué has perfected the art of his new magic trick. Meanwhile, Antoine Griezmann's too distracted listening to the music in the stadium to actually play football. Antoine, play it down the line. Antoine, please. Over in Italy, and Jose Mourinho got himself sent off for celebrating by wiping away tears aimed at Monza fans. It was deemed as provocative by the officials, which it definitely was, so he was given his marching orders. It's a shithousery award for Big Jose. It has to be. We can see him here having a 36-month touchline ban, but he's rattled a 12-year-old in the crowd. Staying on the Roma vibe, what a throwback in El Shaarawy scoring the 90th minute winner for them. El Shaarawy! Ah! Meanwhile, current Monza player Papu Gomez has been banned for 2 years for doping. Now, apparently he tested positive before Argentina's World Cup win, but was still in the squad. Here we have everyone else in the squad on their inhalers. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi's chicken wings were slightly spicy after he put growth hormones and PEDs over them at the same time. What the over at Torino, and we've got an undercover mascot here pretending to be an Inter fan. And down in Serie C, we've got a bizarre goal going in. Probably the best deflection you're ever gonna see. It actually looks slightly on purpose, to be fair. Someone, Sandro Tonali's influence. In France, and the confusing conundrum of Lyon continues as they have once again lost this week, this time to Clermont Foot, and still sit at the bottom of the Ligue 1 table. Their fans have given up already, chanting, "We are Ligue 2," predicting their impending relegation. Meanwhile, speaking of Ligue 2, and Andy Carroll is pulling out all the stops down there with a beautiful finish lobbed on the half volley over an opponent's goalkeeper. That's our first goal of the week for today. The rest of our goals of the week, though, first of all, we head over to Ibar. Probably one of the best free kicks that's been scored all season. The power and accuracy on this one, superb. And over at the MLS and at Orlando City, take a bow, Duncan Maguire with a sensational flick over a defender and solo run before, I'm pretty sure, before travelling the ball into the back of the net. Stunning stuff from the 22-year-old. Over in Germany, and after it cost them dearly in the Bundesliga, Mainz were not too happy with their goalpost. And over in the Netherlands, we spoke about Lyon's demise. Well, Ajax's is just as bad. They lost 4-3 to Utrecht this week. It's led to their manager getting sacked. Honestly, if you were to guide Ajax to relegation, you'd have to retire, truthfully. He is an actual threat to world peace. Ajax being this bad, trust me, I have seen too much sucking going on in Amsterdam this week. I don't need any more. I thought there was supposed to be some kind of glory here. Who knew that when Erik ten Hag said the era's end, he actually meant his old club instead of United? Now, this game was crazy, by the way, obviously suggested by the 4-3 scoreline. It was 3-3 for a while, suspended for one cup entering the field of play, only for them to then concede a goal and lose anyway. Meanwhile, Cristiano Ronaldo is slapping it for Al Nassr, scoring a screamer on his left foot and scoring a free kick this week, but it doesn't quite compare to his son, Cristiano Jr., who made his debut for Al Nassr's under-13s and scored 9 goals in an 8-0 win. Make of that what you will. Big Ron's Al Nassr teammate Sadio Mane has bought a football club in the 4th division of French football and is aiming to get them promoted to Ligue 2 by 2030. I think he'll be a great owner, apart from when he receives moderate disrespect from a fellow board member. Karim Benzema's sharing the love as well over in Saudi Arabia, scoring for Al Ittihad and also against Al Ittihad. And to be honest with you, what I will say is I've been impressed by the action over there, and it makes sense. You got a shed load of incredible attacking talent entering a new league and not much defensive talent to match it, hence a lot of goals. But what there isn't a lot of is fans in the crowd, as around 900 supporters watched Steven Gerrard's side Ettifaq lose this week, compared to a game down in the 9th tier of English football that saw 3,000 attendees.
Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Quando tem oscilações, individualmente o desempenho de cada também vai caindo. A ausência do Rony hoje, por exemplo, que é aquele atacante de uma movimentação muito intensa de
Fucking hell, man.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game.
Over in the MLS, and someone focused on Lionel Messi this week and what he does when he's off the ball. And what he does is, well, quite frankly, not a lot at all. In Brazil, and Santos fans, though, won't be happy after they were demolished 7-1 by Internacional. And Santos was so up for the fight over on Twitter. Their admin, though, slowly lost the will to live. Meanwhile, goals were going in so regularly in this match that Internacional fans couldn't even count to 7. One Mexican women's footballer had the time during a 1v1 out wide to taunt the attacker about how small she was in comparison, and staying on the Mexican vibe, their halftime entertainment is second to none, as fans are challenged to run through obstacles and then run through a set of cowboys trying to lasso them and take them to the ground. Over with our American footballing counterparts now, and Taylor Swift was looking concerned in the crowd when she saw her partner go down heavily. She wouldn't have lasted a week as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's girlfriend. Meanwhile, over in Bulgaria, and a youngster by the name of Steven Gerrard Gaote, born in 2008, opened the scoring in the under-17s Euros. A black Bulgarian called Steven Gerrard. Yeah, football's gone too far, mate. At St. Jago in Jamaica, and take about Leighton Murray, their goalkeeper, who stepped up and scored a ridiculous free kick from organising Wolves to beating them. This is an unbelievable goal. Over in Norway, and Bakar left Lillestrøm to take over at Vålerenga in July. He returned to his former club, and it's fair to say the club and its fans didn't take too kindly to him leaving, with this tifo hung up above the tunnel. Good luck to whoever sat behind that banner, mate. You're not seeing a single minute of this game. In Turkey, in the 2nd division at Kocaelispor, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but one tackle led to a spectacular goal, thanks to some terrible goalkeeping. A Nigerian side playing in the new African League over there had to draw their names and numbers on the back of their shirts. Don't know if they forgot to do it beforehand. Kitman has really only got one job though, so you can't really use that card. We've got some 1000 IQ play here, winning a throw-in against someone trying to shield it in the corner. And over at Vietnam, I'm not gonna lie to you, they've got to start doing a little bit better with in-stadium food, because this is ridiculous. Now though, time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, shout out to back-to-back Romanian appearances for the first time in a while. They decided to step up their game once more, or step down their game, in the form of Botoșani, with a truly catastrophic own goal that makes you wonder whether it was even accidental in the first place, or just a severe lack of footballing ability. Or knowing Romania, here, both. Closer to home in Leeds, one fan went home with a match ball booted out of the stadium by Patrick Bamford. Knowing Patrick Bamford, it's probably not even a Leeds fan bus. This man yammed it all the way into Lancashire. Staying on the Leeds vibe, one set of their supporters hand-delivered a cooling bucket to Marcelo Bielsa on international duty in Uruguay because he wasn't using one whilst managing the national team. Of course, something he was very much known for whilst managing at Marseille and at Leeds. Fellow newly relegated side Leicester, though, are absolutely tearing apart the Championship, and I love that for them. They decided to step out of the Premier League, just win every single game down in the second tier and get promoted again. Imagine other Championship teams rocking up to a game and seeing Wilfred and Ndidi, Kelechi Iheanacho and Dewsbury all turn up. Meanwhile, down at Bridlington, and there was a unique reason as to why they were dished out 2 red cards at half-time, as because 2 of their players decided to fight each other at the break. Even more mental stuff, though, going on in the Czech Republic, as Malada, look, listen, they played Zilin this week, and the scoreline was 9-5. That stadium announcer must have been getting paid overtime. In Mexico, and shout out the most long-range own goal of the week here. In South America, we've got a woman here ranting down the phone at what I can only imagine is her boyfriend. Prayers going out to him tonight because whatever's going on here, he's struggling. In Brazil, and these young fans getting carded by the referee made their night. In Scotland, and shout out to a Sterling Albion defender who managed to get a shit cleared off the line. Look, listen, better out than in. Under-17s football is reaching its peak with this beautifully executed free kick routine, thinking they messed it up only to turn around and bang it into the back of the net. There was a goalkeeping howler at Turan Tovuz over in Azerbaijan, matched beautifully in Thailand by Bangkok United. But if you thought that was bad, spare a moment in the Laos Women's League, where one side lost 28-0 this week. Now though, it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. A former Hoffenheim man, Sebastian Rudy, retired from the beautiful game recently, but came back to play some local Sunday League matches down in the 9th tier of German football. And it's fair to say he definitely hasn't lost it. On to the weird stuff though now. First of all, over in Qatar, and there were bizarre scenes for Julian Draxler, who grabbed himself a brace late on in his side's 4-2 defeat, but his Qatari club still ended up losing the game 4-2, and in the 95th minute, he decided to just simply walk off the pitch whilst the game was still happening after completing a pass to a teammate. There's been no update as to the reason why. People are speculating it might have been because of an injury, but it also might have just been he was fed up with the game and fed up with losing. Either way, probably not the best attitude to have. It was a hilarious wardrobe malfunction at a K-pop concert this week, as K-pop band Stacey accidentally wore Rangers shirts instead of baseball jerseys for the Texas Rangers whilst on their US tour in Dallas. So obviously they were meant to wear like retro baseball jerseys, instead chose the Scottish Premier League side. But to be honest, I think they made the right decision because that retro kit's sick. And finally, there's the rare situation of Georgian side Shakura Kobuletti, who have less wins than stadiums in which they've hosted teams in. Yeah, so for some reason they haven't played a game in their actual home stadium in 30 match days. None of it's because their stadium's under renovation or whether it doesn't comply with the rules of the league. But either way, they've only got 3 wins and have played in 4 stadiums that they've called home during that time period. That though is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at officialfng on Insta, Twitter and on TikTok. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.